Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's not too tired at this point in time in the day. I know you've had a long day. But what I've been asked to share with you, and I'm glad that an applications association, mobile apps association, now exists. I mean, in this day of digital era, we all know everyone says mobile first, and whether we like to admit it or not, it boils down to the apps that stays on the mobile phone, right? I have this one slide. I'm not going to dwell upon it too much, right? But I'm not going to talk about how much growth there is in the smart device ecosystem. I'm not going to talk about so much about how regulation is moving all over the place, because we all know that those are the givens, and we know it's growing, right? It's growing. But what I'd like to share with you here today is an alternative to work with telcos in terms of growing the number of downloads, the number of usage, the number of interactions that mobile apps can have with the help of telcos. Now, the way we look at things within Indosat Ooredoo today, there are three groupings of applications, if you like. You have the giants, the Googles, the Facebooks, and they're slowly buying over other applications, WhatsApp and all that. But that's the one big group, right, which have scale. The other grouping are the Chinese apps, right? The Chinese apps, that's also a big group, and then it's driven by the huge scale that the Chinese population has. And then you have others, right? Others, there's national big applications, huge applications, but there's also smaller ones, those who are trying to get traction and gain a lot of customers, users, downloads, etc. Now, of course, each and every one of you here who are in this business are trying hard, using different methods to get more of these downloads and users and interactions with the apps. And the way that traditionally has been working so far, people work with the bigger ones, right? You put your ads in Google, you put your ads in Facebook, you put your ads in all these larger base applications, and you do that because you know that all these applications do have some level or a strong level of analytics that gives you a feel of who you need to work with and gain traction from. For example, you work with Facebook, you want to target customers of this kind of age, this kind of profile, this country, and so forth and so forth. Same thing with Google, right? And for us in telcos, I don't know whether some of you still remember the days where there's SMS advertisement. The success rate of SMS ads is only 0.1%. That's the success rate. Whereas a good profiled ad through one of the bigger application companies, like Google and Facebook, the success rate is 3%, 4%. So it's easily 40 times, 50 times more successful. Now, the ultimate aim for everyone is trying to get this level of accuracy higher, right? And again, I'd like to provide you with an alternative. Are you working with telcos? Yeah, actually, this is better? Yeah? Okay. So, the one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, and actually telcos haven't actually been able to take full advantage of the situation, of the resource that telcos have. First of all, we, like Indosat Ooredoo, we have 250,000 touch points across Indonesia, right? And at the end of the day, you do need that touch points. We have outlets where people buy their airtimes, inquire about data packages, and what we're trying to do now is we're asking or
inviting partners, OTT partners, applications, to find areas where they believe they want to increase the interaction and have people, for example, unfortunately, the ones who see this potential is one of the larger ones first. One of the bigger ones that I mentioned are looking to work with telcos now to use this offline channel to get people more aware. And then basically if you go to the shop and for example, I want to buy airtime for 20,000 rupiah. It's very easy for someone at the shop to say, why don't you download this application? You give them a bonus, something on top of that. See, this is something that none of the telcos and the applications haven't fully played around with. There's the other thing that a lot of people also don't realize, and things that we're starting to do. Indonesia, in particular, has a 15% churn rate per month. So 15% of the customer base actually buys a new SIM card, reinstalls because they use the SIM card as a data card, or in the past it was a calling card. What telcos are actually able to do, once you install the SIM card actually can push an application to be installed on the device. So if you think about, for us, we have about 80 million customers, 15% per month, right? It's actually about 10 million, 11 million of new SIM cards going in. So there is a potential for applications to be installed, right? Every time a new SIM card is injected into the smartphone. So, and the key thing is, what kind of architecture you can actually build to make sure that the application is small enough that it can fit within the small memory that's either 120K or some of the LTE ones, it can be 256, can fit in there to be installed as an icon, which when you download it first time, then it downloads or pulls the whole apps itself. Okay, the other part that telcos also have, right, and you probably see Indosat Ooredoo did this last year, is we have a lot of billboards. We go put a lot of ads in TVs and all that. Again, we don't fully utilize this, and it's something that can be very easily used to partner with whoever wants to make their applications popular. The other part that is also quite strong with the telcos, we have a possibility of integrating payment, whether it's payment through airtime or through the mobile money services that we have or the others have. But you're able to work together with the telcos to make that integration very, very smooth. Right? Very smooth in the sense that you don't feel that there's a gap in terms of after downloading and using something. One last part that we also have, unlike the Googles, the Facebooks, who are very good in terms of analyzing vertical, deep to a customer, we are very good in terms of analyzing horizontally. We know what customers are using across the board, whether they're using apps 1, apps 2, apps 3, apps 3, apps 4. We know where people live, Kebayoran, because although we don't have their address in the prepaid environment, 99% prepaid environment, we do know where they are at night, right? Because all of these location-based indicators show them at night they're in this area, in the daytime and they're in this area. So we're able to do a lot of these analysis, and combined with the ability to push information. Yeah, okay, granted the push is through SMS, it's not that good in terms of success rate. But again, we do a lot of these analytics. And in fact, with the big data analytics that we have, although it's a prepaid environment, we have 90% certainty that it's a male or female, and it's 90% accuracy in terms of age group as well as social group. So those are some things that we have today. I know I'm running out of time, but what I'd like to say here, we can actually provide an alternative to make sure your targeted marketing or promotion can be done. And telcos actually, depending which telcos, of course we're one of the ones who declare that we're ready to work with you. But given the relatively similar infrastructure that all telcos have, all telcos should be an alternative to just working with the big OTTs that typically are used as your marketing channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was sweet and short. Pa Alexander, thank you so much. I would like to call Venkatesh to present a little token of appreciation for Pa Alex. Thank you, Pa. That was sweet but short. Too short. Yeah, time's up. Yeah. Normally we can't have enough of Pa Alex's presentation. So, of course, the message was passed over, and I hope you guys take important and useful takeaway points. We'll take a selfie. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Venkatesh.